district and midterm election voting.
Plus, the winner for K-State's Ambassador Program.
University, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills. You're watching Channel 8 News.
Good morning, Wildcats, and welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Chase Swinson.
And I'm Zeb Wiley. In today's show, we're going to discuss students' reaction to the Kavanaugh hearing. But first, an upcoming on the 3A3 district elections.
Along with the national midterm elections, Manhattan voters will be voting on the board referendum for the Manhattan-Ogden 383 school district on November 6th. If passed, the referendum will create $100.5 million for security and building updates, improvements and expansions to schools, as well as a whole new elementary school. The district is facing capacity issues after gaining more than 1,300 students in just 10 years, in hopes that this bond will add improvements to the district. To the school district, this is a critical issue for improving education within the 383 boundaries.
The majority of this bond issue is to help us address enrollment capacity issues. We have gained a little over 1,300 students in the past 10 years, and we're running out of space, especially at the elementary level. So we've got to have some more space for kids.
Funds for the bond will come from property taxes based off value. For more information, you can visit www.usd383.org.
Midterms are often overlooked compared to presidential races. That trend might be changing as the political climate heats up during the 2018 election. I took time to discuss the upcoming election with some of the university's most outspoken voices in politics.
November 6th is the day Kansans can cast their vote for state and local representatives. In the Kansas governor's race, Republican Chris Kobach is going up against Democrat Lauren Kelly, with an additional third-party candidate, Greg Orman, throwing in his hat as well. While President Trump's position is safely secured until 2020, there's plenty at stake for Republicans, as Democrats only need to flip 24 seats in the House and Senate. Both Kansas State's college Republicans and young Democrats are paying close attention to what's going to happen.
I think both nationally and locally, the midterms are really important because obviously there's a lot of questions going back and forth about whether or not Republicans are going to maintain control of the House and the Senate, and that will change a lot.
Despite involvement from those more dedicated to politics, a large majority of youth aren't as engaged in the midterms.
Now, a recent Gallup poll shows that just 26% of youth, that is 1 in 4 people between the ages of 18 and 26, are absolutely certain they're going to vote in this year's election.
With such low estimates on college-age voter turnout, you might expect polling stations surrounding K-State to be lacking younger people on November 6th. But for some, statistics won't dissuade them from their civic duty.
I would say local elections are very important because, I mean, you're electing officials who are going to put those policies that are going to affect your communities into place.
For those that can't vote on November 6th, Kansas allows for advanced voting by contacting your local county election officer and requesting an application. In Manhattan, I'm Zeb Wiley, Channel 8 News.
For more information about the elections, visit rileycountykansas.gov/elections.
In recent weeks, now Supreme Court member Brett Kavanaugh has been receiving a lot of attention. In late July, Brett Kavanaugh was accused of sexual assault that happened 36 years earlier. While this may not be affecting us directly in Manhattan, some students feel strongly about his position in national government. On October 6th, Kavanaugh was confirmed indirectly closing the case pinned against him. It has been prominent in the media and has seemed to divide some of the student body.
Well, in addition to him having done probably these terrible things, he also just doesn't have the demeanor of somebody who should be a judge after screaming and crying in his confirmation hearing.
I never thought that the case was going to go anywhere. I was very surprised to see how far it did go. It doesn't seem like it should be so polarizing. It seems like she brought something up from 36 years ago, and she's trying to keep him out of a chair. This is so clearly politically motivated.
K-State concluded homecoming with the announcement of their student body ambassadors on Saturday. And also, the flu season is underway. Our Casey Campbell will be live at Candlewood Health Mart when we come back.
University, entrusted with serving the needs of our communities and world through the nation's most important research and testing. We don't cater to what's popular. We come together to find out what's next, what will save lives and better the world. Since 1863, our values haven't changed, but our methods have. What defines a land-grant university? Community, progress, you. Knowledge is more than a piece of paper. It's being committed to leaving the world a better place, dedicated to limitless learning, conducting research that is tried and true, and then tried again, crossing disciplines, blazing trails, discovering better methods that lead to global solutions. What is the K-State graduate student experience? Unrestricted, proven, you. What ignites inspiration? It's sparked in every victory, every banner carried high. It's lit in traditions that bind each generation together. It's found in the people who push us to never settle and who serve those without a voice. It's iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new generation of world changers and answer seekers. What ignites inspiration? Tradition, passion, you.
This year, K-State selects 2 student ambassadors to represent the student body at alumni and campus events. The new ambassadors were announced during the halftime of the K-State game on Saturday. Channel 8 reporter Jordan Pulliam has more.
A rigorous selection process, the nominees for 2019 student ambassadors finally heard the announcement they had been waiting for.
We extend our congratulations to the 2019 K-State Student Ambassadors. Maddie Mash and Tyler Rowe.
Maddie Mash is a junior studying microbiology and pre-medicine from Wichita, Kansas. After serving prospective students during her time at K-State, she's excited to switch gears and interact with alumni.
I'm really excited to talk to those alumni because that isn't something I've had the opportunity to do so up to that point, and they all are so incredible and have had their own unique K-State experiences, so I'm really excited to hear from them.
Tel Whitmer is a sophomore studying secondary education from Holton, Kansas. As a passionate Wildcat, he's excited to step into this role.
I'm really excited because now I'm a student where I can be the link for life for everybody, past, present, future students. I can do my part as a student here right now.
The student ambassador position began in 1977 as a way to get students involved in alumni events. Everyone here at the Alumni Association has high hopes for the new student ambassadors.
I think they're going to be great representatives for the university and for the Alumni Association, and I look forward to working with them and getting to know them a little better.
The 2019 student ambassadors will serve a one-year term. They will also receive a $1,500 scholarship, clothing from Bork Brothers, and the official K-State ring. From Manhattan, Jordan Pulliam, Channel 8 News.
The new student ambassador term begins slow, but will be in full swing when we come back from spring semester in January.
While some students were out during homecoming, some were homesick with the bug going around. We're going to go live with Channel 8 reporter Casey, who's at the Candlewood Health Mart Pharmacy. Casey?
Thanks, Chase. I'm here at the Health Mart Pharmacy in the Candlewood Shopping Center with pharmacist and owner Ron Riley, going to discuss why the low numbers might be such for students getting their flu vaccination. So, Ron, what do you believe may be the cause of such low numbers of young people getting vaccinated?
Imagine there's probably quite a few. Nobody likes to get stuck with a needle. They're very busy with their studies and social life, and it does take a little bit of time to do that. Some are concerned about what it's going to cost them, which for the most part, probably 99% of people's insurance pays 100%. And they think they're healthy, and so why should I? But they're not incentivized to get them, you know, and sometimes these college students aren't going to do something if they can't get, you know, free food and something to drink and maybe some live music, and so just multiple reasons, but in the general population it's kind of that way too.
And also, in a community like Manhattan, having a lot of students, how do you think this may affect the general health of the community if a lot of people aren't getting vaccinated?
Well, obviously, if you don't get vaccinated, then you're at risk getting the influenza, and you're also at risk, if you get it, of passing it on to the general public. So it is inconsiderate to not get vaccinated.
All right, well, thank you for your time, and we're going to send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Casey. Local Manhattan business fell victim to arson a couple of weeks ago. This led Channel 8 reporter Amelia Andrews to further investigate what arson is.
A couple weeks ago, the Manhattan Fire Department ruled a fire in the A&H Auto Repair shop as arson. This led Channel 8 to further investigate what exactly arson is.
So arson is the criminal act of an incendiary fire. An incendiary fire is what we use to describe a fire that is set by a human where fire should not occur. So it's an intentional human act of lighting a fire where they know fire should not be lit.
Arson can be started by something as simple as a handheld lighter, but what many people don't realize is that arson doesn't solely take place in a building or on personal property.
Arson comes in all shapes and sizes. I think most people assume when they hear the word arson that it's a fire that's occurred in a building, but you can have arson of a vehicle, of a car, of people's belongings. We've had cases where in domestic disputes where somebody's actually gone and burned the belongings of somebody else out in a fire pit or something like that. So it's important to remember that arson isn't always a very extreme act. It can be very, very small in the scope of things. So.
The motives of arson would be why someone lights it. Most of the time, if someone lights a fire, they have something to gain from it, either to cover up a crime that they've already committed, or they're trying to gain monetarily from insurance fraud, or they're getting excitement or gratification out of lighting the fire.
In Manhattan, Kansas, I'm Amelia Andrews, Channel 8 News.
Up next, we have a K-State student who doesn't have a typical college job. Channel 8 reporter Logan Wassel has the scoop.
College students usually try to find a job to help support themselves. While some may work at a grocery store or a restaurant, students like Connor Greening have a bit more of a unique job.
The academy started at the end of May and ran until the end of June. And since then, I've been actually on shift work, like actually firefighting. You work from 5 to 8 in the morning on weekdays, and you can work 24-hour shifts on the weekends. So you end up getting like 15 hours a week if you work one shift a week. A lot of times you get to come here and do your homework while you're on shift. I mean, you might get a few calls a night. For the most part of it, it's laid back.
Connor's captain, David Graham, started working here as a student, just like Connor did, with the result he didn't expect.
Yeah, when I started as a student, I kind of, like Connor, I fell into it. I had friends that were into firefighting, volunteering, and I've always been a person that helps, so I started volunteering with them, and that was kind of my first crash course into full-time firefighting, and I fell in love with it. So I finished my education at K-State, graduated with my bachelor's degree, and I went full-time. There was an open spot, and I took it, and I thought, well, we'll see what the future holds, and 10-plus years later, I'm still here.
Working long hours in high-pressure situations can quickly make you feel like a family all under one roof that you don't want to leave.
It's a very rare opportunity. It's a pretty sweet job. You learn a lot. You really get to be part of a brotherhood that a lot of people never see in their lives or their careers.
I like it here, so I hope I get to stay here.
From Manhattan, I'm Logan Wassel, Channel 8 News.
Up next, we'll take a look at how one K-State class is helping to raise awareness in an issue affecting many Kansas communities, as well as look at a local harvest festival. This and more after the break.
Land Grant University, entrusted with serving the needs of our communities and world through the nation's most important research and testing. We don't cater to what's popular. We come together to find out what's next, what will save lives and better the world. Since 1863, our values haven't changed, but our methods have. What defines a land-grant university? Community, progress, you. Knowledge is more than a piece of paper. It's being committed to leaving the world a better place, dedicated to limitless learning, conducting research that is tried and true, and then tried again, crossing disciplines, blazing trails, discovering better methods that lead to global solutions. What is the K-State graduate student experience? Unrestricted, proven, you. What ignites inspiration? It's sparked in every victory, every banner carried high. It's lit in traditions that bind each generation together. It's found in the people who push us to never settle and who serve those without a voice. It's iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new generation of world changers and answer seekers. What ignites inspiration? Tradition, passion, you.
Zeb, did you know that the state of Kansas has one of the largest rates of food deserts in America?
Chase, I was unaware of that.
Personally, I didn't either, but I got a chance to catch up with some K-State students as they were hard at work on a documentary to raise awareness on this issue. This past semester, students at the K-State Journalism School have been working together to produce a documentary on the issue of food deserts. A food desert is a community that has little or no capability to get access to fresh fruits and vegetables at a local grocery store. David Proctor, the director for the Center of Engagement and Community Development, works hand in hand with these communities and expressed how pivotal grocery stores are to small towns across Kansas.
Small town grocery stores are one of the pillars of the community. And if those businesses close, it's a real blow to that town.
If you happen to walk by Dole Hall, you can catch K-State students hard at work putting together a documentary covering the issue of food deserts and presenting it through the lens of a camera. And through that camera lens, they showed how the issue of food deserts affects many towns in Kansas, some closer to home than others, like right here in Ogden, Kansas. The documentary class, or crew as they would prefer to be called, recently took a trip to Cuba, Kansas, one of the many small rural towns in Kansas affected by the issue of food deserts. With a population of just 156 people, Cuba, Kansas isn't too much to look at, but K-State student Jack Bresser stated that the community's help and involvement with the documentary making process was invaluable.
We were welcomed in right away. Everyone was super nice to us, and they were like I had said before, they were super helpful. They were like, oh, this person does this. Go talk to them about that if you need that. Or like, this person does this. Like you asked about that, go talk to them because they would really be able to help you out with that. So it was a really kind of cool thing that we had going on in the community.
With the combined efforts of both the community of Cuba and K-State students, this documentary will help raise awareness on the threat of food deserts. In Manhattan, Kansas, I'm Chase Swinson, Channel 8 News. I'm excited to see what those documentary students can put together to raise awareness on this issue. For more information on rural communities and food deserts, be sure to check out ruralgrocery.org.
Junction City's Hildebrand Dairy Farm's annual Harvest Fest did not go as planned this past weekend. Reporter Alex Kemp has a story.
Last week's showers put a damper on Hildebrand Farm's annual Harvest Fest, but the farm was still welcoming to guests who are looking for some fall fun.
The Harvest Festival is a big event for us. It's where we pull out all the stops. We absolutely love kind of providing an open house where people can see and experience a day in the life on the farm. We love offering the hay rack rides, corn pit and hay bale player, all of the rain that we've gotten the last 7 days that we were just very concerned about people parking as well as just walking around.
Due to inclement weather this past week, the Hildebrand Farms were not able to host the annual Harvest Festival, but that doesn't mean that they still can't have fun.
I wanted to come to Harvest Fest because I really wanted to get a pumpkin, but then I found out that the Harvest Fest was canceled when I got here. So then I decided to buy some honey and some milk. They got this new milk, it's mocha flavored, it's very good.
In Manhattan, Kansas, this is Alex Kemp for Channel 8 News.
Man, Zeb, I have to say, it's been pretty chilly outside.
Chase, it has. I wonder if it's going to warm up anytime soon. Monica has the weather updates for us. Monica?
Thanks, Zeb. So if we look here throughout the United States, on the West Coast, what we're seeing is in the upper area, we're seeing those high 60s. So just make sure you have a little jacket maybe possibly, but other than that, cool weather. If you go a little lower, we're going to see that it's in the 80s, so it is going to be a little warmer. And then if we look right around here, we see it's a nice 50 degrees, but then we also go down to the Carolinas and the Florida area where we see those lower 70s. It is a little warmer, possibly as an effect due to the hurricane. But we also see that there is a cold front coming in where we went from having 68 before to now we're going to 55 throughout the United States. So cold front is coming in. Now, if we continue on and we're going to look at Kansas, what we're going to see in Kansas is kind of in the Hays area. We do have that 50-degree range, so it is a little cooler. So remember when I said we're going to have a cool front? Well, if you look in the Manhattan area, in Butler County and so forth, we have that cool front coming in. So that 50 is going to start bringing down those temperatures in, where we see 60s and so forth. And then also, if we look at our 24-hour map, what we're going to see for our 24-hour map, it's just going to be a little different. So remind you when I said that cold front is coming in, well, here it goes. We see we're going to go from 66 degrees and then we're dropping to the 50s, and we are going to have that chance of rain. So maybe we'll have some snow in the future. That's a little unknown with that drop. Then we go down to even more showers Friday morning and mid-50s as well. Lastly, when we go over the 5-day forecast, what we're going to see here on the 5-day forecast is mid-60s throughout the week, lower to mid-40s and 50s, and then we'll have that weather as well. So other than that, it's going to be a cool weekend for Manhattan area. All right, now back to you, Zeb.
Thanks, Monica. Kansas State found their first Big 12 win on Saturday, and the K-State soccer team concluded their home season over the weekend. We'll be right back after this.
But we all move forward, preparing for our future in the same historic library. We meet friends in the bustling student union and experience the exciting atmosphere of campus events. We appreciate individual interests and shared passions. Many different paths, one distinct destination. How does campus life become life experience? Connections, involvement, you.
The best-kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress. JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
I was so pleased with what I saw on the discussion boards last night. Who started the module?
K-State Global Campus offers flexible online learning, the same name brand education, quality programs, and recognized award-winning professors with the flexibility to fit your life.
Here you are, sir. Can I get you anything else?
For your comfort and safety, vital baggage must be stored in the overhead.
K-State Global Campus, always on, always there.
It looks like there has been some madness in recent sporting events. Channel 8 News reporter Brianne Smith has an update on K-State sports. Brianne?
Thanks, Chase. The K-State football team ended their 3-game losing streak in Manhattan on Saturday with a win against Oklahoma State Cowboys. K-State quarterback Skylar Thompson utilized the running game with almost 300 rushing yards for the Cats, beating the Cowboys 31-12. Junior Alex Barnes led the team with 4 touchdown runs and nearly 200 yards. The Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, Duke Shelley, contributed to the victory with 2 interceptions. The Cowboys struggled to make big plays in the second half, only scoring 1 touchdown and unable to complete a 2-point conversion. The Cats have a bye this week and will continue their season with an on-the-road game in Norman on October 27th. K-State soccer hosted Texas Christian University for their 15th game of the Wildcat season, which fell on the Wildcats' senior day. The Horned Frogs defeated the Wildcats 2-1 in a close match. TCU player Mackenzie Oliver scored on Wildcat goalie Emma Masley within the first 23 minutes of the game and set the tone for this match. K-State scored a goal in the 47th minute off a corner kick, which tied the game post-halftime. Although K-State put up a fight, TCU scored again in the 70th minute off a corner kick and into the game with a score of 2-1. The last game K-State won was on September 16th, but the team is optimistic for their next match against the University of Texas. Last Friday, the men's and women's basketball teams hosted the Madness in Manhattan Hype event in Manhattan in Bramlage Coliseum. Channel 8 reporter Rachel Hogan experienced the madness firsthand.
While it may still be football season, the excitement for basketball is building in Manhattan. That excitement showed when thousands of fans poured into Bramlage Coliseum to see the unveiling of this year's teams. The night featured a dunk contest won by Dean Wade and a co-ed three-point shootout. The women outshot the men in all 3 rounds. To round out the night, the men's team gave fans a taste of what's to come in a 12-minute scrimmage. Barry Brown Jr. and Xavier Sneed led the white squad in a 30-25 win over the white team headed by Wade and Mike McGurl. Last season, the men's team won 25 games and made it all the way to the Elite 8. Head coach Bruce Weber says the potential to go far this year is there, but there's always room for improvement.
But we got a good group, but we got to keep getting better. We can't be satisfied. A lot of practice time left to make improvement.
K-State's all-time leading scorer Jacob Poland also said success at the NCAA tournament is within reach, but advised players to remain focused and realize that they're a target this year.
If not, they'll have their bumps in the road, but if they stay focused, like with the seniors and stuff they got, they should be able to, with non-conference and conference, get right back into the tournament, and then, you create create your own destiny there.
Thousands of K-State fans look forward to March Madness every year, but the excitement starts now before the season even starts. K-State fans say what they're really looking forward to are those intense games.
I'm ready for those intense games, those rival games, especially against KU. I love the atmosphere.
Despite the hype and the madness, the team's fates remain to be seen until the season begins next month. In Manhattan, Rachel Hogan, Channel 8 News.
Both teams will debut their seasons in exhibition games in early November, with the women's squad hosting Fort Hays State on the 1st and the men playing Pittsburgh State on the 2nd. That's all the time we have for sports this week. Now let's kick it back to Zeb at the desk.
Thanks, Bree. One last check of today's weather and a look ahead what can be expected on the weekend in Manhattan. Coming up on Channel 8 News.
Is the foundation of who we have become and what we can become tomorrow. We find inspiration in the past, new possibilities in our present, and anticipation for tomorrow's journey. Yesterday's triumphs are today's proud traditions, a transformation where a hall becomes a home, students become family, and research becomes reality. How do we build upon K-State's strong foundation? Innovation, collaboration, you. We may take different paths, but we all move forward, preparing for our future in the same historic library. We meet friends in the bustling student union and experience the exciting atmosphere of campus events. We appreciate individual interests and shared passions. Many different paths, one distinct destination. How does campus life become life experience? Connections, involvement, you.
I'm Ngọc Trân from Đà Lạt, Vietnam.
I'm Raphael from St. Mary's, Kansas.
Mình nói cả tiếng Việt và tiếng Anh.
I only speak one language, unless you count Pig Latin. Oh, you don't? Okay, one language.
I'm new to K-State and want to experience everything I can in Manhattan.
I'm hungry. Do you want to go eat some ice cream?
Sure.
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
How do you say Wabash in your language?
What's a Wabash?
Welcome back. We got Channel 8 weather anchor Monica here to give us one last little outlook on the weekend. How are things looking weather-wise this weekend, Monica?
Chase, weather's looking pretty good. We've moved past all the snow, and so now what we're going to see is we're going to have 65 degrees today, and then we're also going to be in those mid-60s as well throughout the whole entire week. So when we're going to sporting events like Manhattan High's football game, you'll have great weather and perfect time to go hammocking and just kind of be outside this weekend and enjoy the weather.
Awesome. Thanks, Monica.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching Channel 8 News.
Folks, be sure to tune in with us next week. We'll have a great show for you guys. Have a great day.
This is Channel 8 News.